I honestly do not know how I feel about the frying game. On the one hand, I appreciate that it's quite an unpredictable episode, and there's at least one quote in this that I absolutely loved. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it played with my emotions too much. And normally that's not something I'm bothered about, but there's just something about this episode that doesn't sit right with me. This is the 21st episode of the 13th season of The Simpsons, directed by Jim Reardon and Mike Frank Polcino. And it starts off with Homer buying Marge a koi pond, and I have to say, the Screamapillar, which is a little screaming caterpillar, is wonderfully irritating and irritatingly wonderful. I just love the character, and honestly, I wish we got to see more of it in the episode. I feel like, even though it's really annoying, I feel like I would have been able to watch it for a lot longer. And Marge has a quote. It's a quote that I absolutely love. I'll leave it until the end. I don't want to spoil it, but I will tell you it with a spoiler warning. And then something happens regarding the Screamapillar that means Homer has to deliver Meals on Wheels, and he meets this old woman and starts to do jobs for her, and then suddenly they're being framed for murder. And I won't say any more than that, but I will say it went really far. It went so much further with that case than I was expecting. It completely took me by surprise, and the way everything concluded, like the last 5 minutes of it, I was not expecting. And honestly, it's one of the most intense episodes of The Simpsons because I genuinely had no idea what was going on. And I don't know how I feel about the last 5 minutes. I can't say what happened or anything. I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say I don't love it. I don't love the direction it took, but I didn't hate it. I didn't, finish the episode going, well, they've completely ruined an otherwise compelling episode. It's not like that. I think I just found it so emotionally rocking that it's hard to know how I feel about it. And as I said, there's just something about it that doesn't sit right. I feel like it played with my emotions a little bit more than I'd care for. So while I don't love the episode, I can say that it's a very well crafted episode and very well written with this one quote. So I'll tell you the quote now. It's so spoiler from now. It's the only thing I'm going to spoil, and it's just a quote, a non-spoiler quote from Marge at the beginning. But obviously, if you don't want to know anything funny that happens, look away now. But she says, when she approaches the koi pond, we hear her inner thoughts, and she says, "How much money did he pee away on this?" But she doesn't say pee. And it just took me by surprise. I think this is the second time in maybe this season, or at least the last season, where they've used the P word, P-I-S-S. I can't say it on YouTube. But it just took me by surprise, especially coming out of Marge's mouth. And it made me laugh so much. And I also thought, yeah, that sounds about right. So, quite a well written episode, definitely a well crafted episode, and very surprising. Whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. I still just don't know. So there are definitely things about it that are thought-provoking. It's an episode I could talk about a lot. So if you have any thoughts you want to share, please feel free to do so. Honestly, I'd watch it again, but it just confuses my mind so much. It's definitely a very, very detailed, very interesting, and very unexpected episode. And for that reason, I guess that means it's good.